Alright, hello and welcome back to another little video here. Today we got Kyle is Famous by John Szymanski. Hopefully I got that right. This is from the same developer who's currently working on Maximum Action. It is a first-person shooter game. And he asked on Twitter if people would like to playtest one of his new games. And I didn't think he would say yes, because not a whole lot of people say yes to me playing their games. But yeah, so he was cool enough to send me the game. We're gonna play it here. He said that there might be, to watch out for some things, so we're gonna keep an eye out. But I'm pretty excited. It's an adventure type game. I think it's more like a choose your own story kind of thing instead of like say like Final Fantasy. So I really like the song. We'll say that. So let's go into start. There's no options menu, so we're just gonna click start. Alright, quick editor's note here. Two things. I forgot to say I'm not sponsored. He didn't give me any money at all to test his game. I just did it because I want to. Also, I mess up a lot of the words in this video. So for example, there's one point where it says dive in, but I said drive in. I don't know why. I'm just really tired and I'm not feeling well. So yeah, that's why I kind of messed up some of the words in this video, just so you know. But anyways, please enjoy the rest of the video and have a nice day. Kyle woke up. He is famous. Kyle is host of the most popular talk show in recent memory, Stay Up Late with Kyle. Wow. Stay Up Late with Kyle has grown in popularity quickly in the last year, and the public has noticed. Insider has called Kyle a most exciting dumpy white man. Wow. Oh, most excellent dumpy white man. See, that's fault on my part for messing up that word. Top Tech noted that Kyle is inspiring youth to explore STEM fields. Okay, alright. Most other talk shows are dedicated to discussing Kyle and his personal details. Oh, Jesus. Most online videos are best of clips taken from Kyle's latest broadcast. The eye of the world is upon Kyle. Tonight is Kyle's most important guest interview yet. What, is fucking like Jay Leno? Stay Up with Kyle will be featuring Rachel May. She is a kind and lovely philanthropist. She is dear to the hearts of many. This interview requires preparation. Oh, Jesus. Kyle entirely opens his eyes knowing today is his last chance to prepare for the interview. Kyle has 30 hours left. He must choose his actions wisely. Oh, Jesus Christ. Start prepping. Alright. Kyle's first decision of the morning was made wisely. Exit bed, wither away. We're gonna exit out of bed. Kyle exited his bed. Wait. Exited. Exited his bed and took a quick glance around his room. Opened the closet, set at the desk. Scavenge. Yeah, scavenge. Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his intimate need for gossip.
What are you so happy about?
Kyle familiarly pressed his ear into the carpet, hoping to hear some stray words from the neighbors below. I heard Rachel May is going on a trip out of the country soon. Oh, girlfriend, tell me more. Well, what I will tell you is that every night I don a mask that looks like a bug and fight misdoers. There was a stunned silence. Then a door opened and someone exited the neighbor's apartment. That's quite enough. Kyle returned to the center of the room. Okay, we should sit at the desk. Kyle made his way over to the desk and sat down. Write notes for interview. Check in desk drawer. What's in the desk drawer? Kyle opened the side drawer on his desk and grabbed one of the items stored. Small key, assorted change. Small key. Grabbed the small key and he kept it in his desk. Kyle made his way over to his desk, sat down. Write notes for the interview. Kyle wrote down his first question. Are you a mother? Am I a mother? Is your mother a mother? Are you a mother? Kyle wrote down his second question. What are some diet tips? Beef mashed or blended? ever eaten a raw egg whole? Throw a funny one in there. Kyle wrote down his third question. What's your funniest story? Do you ever smell? I purposely ran over. Damn. All right, what's your funniest story? Kyle wrote down his last question. What's your guilty pleasure? Do you feel guilty? Are you guilty? What's your guilty pleasure? Kyle ripped his page of notes out of the notebook and got up from his desk. Kyle made his way over to the desk and sat down. All right. Can I grab the assorted change? Yeah. I'll scoop to these scattered around the desk. Okay. All right, back to the room. All right, open closet. Kyle opened the closet. It was dark, and you can only really see his hanging shirts. Choose an outfit. Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is. Slick suit of armor, jeans, and swimming goggles. Let's go with that one. Kyle maliciously crammed his dumpy body into the suit. The chest pockets were filled with random knickknacks. Okay, so we did everything, so let's exit. Kyle walked into the small hallway that connects the rooms of his apartment together. Moved to the kitchen. Check locked door. Leave apartment. Here, check locked door. Kyle walked over to the strange door in the hallway, but found quickly that the door was locked from the inside. Force the door with... Nah... We'll do that next time. Move to the kitchen. Kyle walked to the center of the kitchen. Open fridge. Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat. Eat the fridge. Prepare breakfast. Eat crust on fridge wall. Eat condiments. I guess eat the condiments. Kyle hurried to the set. Sitting across from his host chair was a glorious woman, obviously wealthy, but with an air of This isn't his fault. This is my fault for not knowing how to say words. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here. Kyle responded, sarcasm and spin in circles. Oh, scream and spin in circles. Answer politely. We'll go with the batshit crazy route next time. And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle, extending his hand in greeting. You are a most welcome host. Shake hands. After other mild exchange of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompt to take their places for the broadcast. Oh, Jesus. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. Gossip about neighbor. Sure. Good evening, everybody, said Kyle. My neighbor is a bug vigilante. As Kyle had nothing more to say on the matter, he fell silent. Rachel, also on camera, stared at her hands and wondered when she was going to be introduced. The producer started cutting to different camera angles to break the tension. Kyle continued to remain silent and stare forward blankly. After several minutes, neighbor Gabby walked in the studio and into frame. Hi, everyone, she said, smiling frankly. My name is Gabby, and I'm not a bug vigilante. False. Kyle looked at Gabby and then returned to staring forwards. Gabby went to reply, but was interrupted by a bug-shaped intercom on her belt. Bug girl, it squawked. There has been a robbery on East 3rd. Report immediate. Gabby threw the intercom on the ground and crushed it under her foot. After a beat, she spoke again. Something has come up suddenly and I must go. Gabby quickly stepped out of the frame and left the studio. Well, said Kyle, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for joining us, Rachel. Kyle got up, shook Rachel's hand again, and walked behind the cameras, leaving her alone. Not knowing what else to do, the producer ended the broadcast. In the coming days, fans of both Rachel and Kyle dubbed this show as a masterpiece of television. So Kyle's online pages were updated to reflect this broadcast as the most popular ever. Kyle's producer later tried to have Rachel on the show again, but she was very, very, very busy. Kyle talked about Gabby. Endings unlocked. Alright, let's restart. Kyle's first decision of the morning was, okay, so let's do everything that we did before, but this time, you know, not like talk about Bug Girl. We're gonna move to kitchen, open fridge, prepare breakfast. Kyle constructed a breakfast of poached eggs and toast along. Poached eggs! Damn. In an hour? I couldn't do that. And toast along with small fruit cup and grilled sausage. Let's eat it. Kyle ate his breakfast slowly and... Wow. The food effects. Slowly and thoughtfully enjoying every bite. He felt refreshed. Return to kitchen. Return to hallway. Let's leave the apartment. Kyle walked down in the middle of the road and took a long pondering look around. Visit tech store. Kyle walked in a clean white tech store. He was greeted by Techno Jim, an elaborate cutout mascot with flashing lights. As a tenant for buy batteries with change. Oh yeah, buy batteries. Kyle counted out $1.98 in pennies and nickels and traded them for a small packet of batteries. Back to tech. Steal. Right to the set. Sit across. More gently. Approach. More. Answer politely. Shake hands. More. Alright, start broadcast. Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle. Introduce Rachel. Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction. Because Kyle mentioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. Hello, Kyle, she said. I'm glad to be here. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss, so we might as well drive right in, said Kyle. I'm very ready, said Rachel with a winning smile. Kyle produced the notes he had taken earlier. Fuck, where do we start with? What's a good... Start off with like a weird question, right? You know? Or, you know, like, we'll do them in order. Are you a mother? Rachel, I and many others would love to know, are you a mother? Kyle looked up from his notes. Well, being a single woman with a career, she answered, that's not something that has crossed my mind. Rachel smiled genuinely at Kyle. Very reasonable indeed, said Kyle. He referenced his paper of questions. Kyle asked another question. Ever eaten a raw egg whole? Hey, Rachel, ever eaten a raw egg whole? Asked Kyle. Like shell and all? Asked Rachel. Kyle continued, I have, like, a lot. It's really bad, though, so sometimes I spit it back up. There was silence. But actually, it gets easier the more you do it, continued Kyle without losing momentum. You shouldn't do it. Rachel chose to not answer and look in the other direction. Kyle asked another question. This is like if Eric Andre was like, you know, one of those normal talk show hosts, and then just one night went batshit crazy. No, I should do the Eric Andre route of things. What's your funniest story? You've been involved in a lot of different things, said Kyle, but what's your funniest story? Well, that's a great question, Kyle, said Rachel. I think the story I always remember is the first time I tried to make dinner for my family. In the soup I made, I swapped out the water with milk and tipped the whole jar of salt into the pot. Jesus Christ. While my family was sick from trying to eat it, I swept their things and locked myself in my room. Rachel laughed elegantly. Kyle decided to move on. Kyle asked another question. What's your guilty pleasure? We all have one. What's your guilty pleasure? Oh, well, that's an easy answer, said Rachel. Dipping pickles in chocolate. What the fuck? It might sound strange, but it's tangly and sweet at the same time. I eat it far too often, Rachel smiled sweetly. After reading this final question, Kyle looked up from his paper. Well, Rachel, he said, I think that's all I was planning on asking you. If that's the case, Kyle, may I ask you something in return? Asked Rachel, smiling one more time. Do you prepare for your interviews in advance? Because you seem very together. Before Kyle could answer, the camera shut down. The broadcast was over. Kyle returned home knowing the interview had gone well. But as he lay in bed and drifted asleep, he felt that perhaps something was still missing. Kyle prepared very well. Okay, so hold on. So can I return to main menu? Endings. So we got good interview and gossip. So that was the good interview, and I got the gossip one. So there's 21 endings, if I remember correctly. Is it said? There's 21 endings. You can check out all the socials over here. But we're gonna try and play for some more endings. So here we go. Start again. Kyle woke up. He is famous. Yeah, skip. All right. We're gonna do the batshit crazy like Eric Andre once. We're gonna exit out of bed. We're gonna scavenge, and we're gonna look for resources. Kyle began to climb through the damp piles of filth and mold on his floor in search for helpful items. After finding and eating a few bits of crumbs and old cheese, Kyle found something much more important. Indeed, it was the corpse of Harry, a friend that had gone missing years ago while at Kyle's house. Kyle was glad to see him again, but was unsure of whether to interrupt such an important day with Harry business. Leave him for now. Kyle decided Harry could wait until another day, and quickly folded a pile of filth back on top of him. Alright. So Eric Andre, right? He'd sit at his desk, write notes for the interview. It would be, is your mother a mother? And let's see. It would be the ever eaten a raw egg one, and then purposely ran over a puppy. Do you ever smile? Purposely ran over a puppy, and then are you guilty? That would be the Eric Andre approach of things. Okay, so now we're not even gonna grab anything from down there. We're gonna open the closet, gonna choose our outfit, and probably he probably would do this slick suit, you know, as his usual interviews go. Okay, so then we exit. We move to kitchen. He's gonna open the fridge. He's gonna eat the condiments. Kyle started to grab condiment from the fridge, squirting them into his mouth with both hands. The rate at which ketchup, soy sauce, and other items enter Kyle's mouth soon overrode his ability to swallow. Kyle spewed the excess condiments across the kitchen, covering the furniture and walls. Kyle continued until all of the condiments had been emptied. Kyle walked to the center of the kitchen. Alright, so we're going to return the hallway, and we're going to leave the apartment, and then we're going to visit downstairs, but we can't, so. Alright. Kyle hurried to the set. Standing across him, his host chair was a glamorous woman, obviously wealthy, but with hair. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Approached Rachel. Yeah. We're going to scream and spin in circles. Kyle started to stretch out his arms wide, tilted his neck upwards, and was interrupted by his producer telling him and Rachel that it was time to start the show. Start interview. A moment after seating the studio, lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. Start broadcast. Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up with Kyle. Introduced Rachel. Tonight I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction. Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. Hello, Kyle, she said. I'm glad to be here. More. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss, so we might as well dive right into it. Not drive, said Kyle. I'm very ready, said Rachel with a winning smile. Kyle produced the notes that he had taken earlier. Alright. So we're going to start off with ever eaten a raw egg, since we've already done that one. Is your... let's see. Is your mother a mother? So, said Kyle, my mother is my mother. My mother's mother is her mother, and my mother's mother. And many mothers have mothers' mother's mother. Is your mother a mother? Rachel went to answer and stopped. I believe, she said eventually, that I should answer yes? Kyle asked another question. Are you guilty? Kyle threw his questions on the floor, stood up, and pointed at her. Rachel's eye twitched slightly. Guilty of what, dear Kyle? She smiled. Distressed. Guilty, spat Kyle. Of your crimes? Rachel did not answer. Her eyelids both started twitching uncontrollably. Kyle asked another question. I purposely ran over a puppy. Hey, I ran over a puppy on purpose, said Kyle. Everyone in the studio looked horrified. Kyle spread his hands out wide. It's a joke! He started laughing from the bottom of his stomach. Nobody laughed with Kyle. Several minutes later, he stopped laughing and moved on. After reading his final question, Kyle looked up from his paper. Well, Rachel, he said, I think that's all I was planning on asking you. If that's the case, Kyle, may I ask you something in return? Asked Rachel, smiling one more time. Do you prepare for your interviews in advance? Because you seem very together. Before Kyle could answer, the camera shut down. The broadcast was over. Kyle returned home knowing the interview had gone well. But as he lay in bed and drifted to sleep, he felt that perhaps something was still missing. That was the very well interview? I thought like... Oh, I thought oh, alright. Let's return to main menu. I at least want to get like 5 endings. So let's do the one where we just don't care. Right, where we just wither away in bed. Wither away. Kyle decided to stay put and wither away. Kyle withered successfully and died. Shucks. Kyle is now a ghost. This does not reveal him. This does not relieve him of his responsibilities. Get out of bed anyway. Kyle exited his bed and took a quick glance around his bedroom. Open the closet. Choose an outfit. We're gonna do a suit of armor. Kyle was unsure of what exactly caused him to decide to wear his armor, but he felt like the right thing to do. After much squeezing and sweating, Kyle managed to wrap the metal suit around his dumpy self. Back to room. Kyle returned to the center of the room. Alright, we're going to sit at the desk. We're going to check the drawer. A flashlight? Take that flashlight. Kyle grabbed the flashlight, but after jiggling the switch, he found it was out of batteries. Back to desk. Check the drawer again. Grab the change. Back to desk. Back to room. Exit the bedroom. Leave apartment. Visit tech store. Buy batteries. Insert flashlight. Kyle crammed the batteries into his flashlight. Back to tech company. Steal. Oh yeah, also steal the thing. Quickly before acknowledge him by the shoulders. Finding that Techno Jim's cardboard feet were bolted to the ground, Kyle started to pull upwards forcefully. After several tugs, one foot and one leg dislocated from Techno Jim, and Kyle was able to lift his body off the ground. Kyle took a glance at the attendant who was staring at him bewilderedly and ran outside. Continue with day. Kyle walked in the middle of the road and took a long pondering look. Return to apartment. I know we don't have that many moves left. Return to bedroom. Scavenge. Bugs. More. Kyle hurried to the set. Sitting across from his chair was going to his room, obviously wealthy, but with an air of... Kyle approached her. Rachel looked up and smiled. Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here. Interview Techno Jim instead. Kyle roughly shoved Rachel out of her seat, placed Techno Jim in her steed. I think that's supposed to be seat. Hello, Techno Jim, said Kyle. I'm going to interview you today. Kyle grabs Techno Jim's hand and staring, trying to shake it. Kyle grabs Techno Jim's hand and trying to shake it, but instead tore it off the cardboard frame. Kyle's producer, sensing viral media, pulled the bewildered Rachel out of frame and motioned to the crew to go live. Cameraman moved, lights flashed, and suddenly the studio was on air. Hi, I'm Kyle, said Kyle, and tonight I'm going to interview a very special guest. Forgetting that he was still holding Techno Jim's mutilated arm, Kyle motioned to the guest seat area. Techno Jim, who was now missing 3 body parts, started to smoke from the heat of the lights. "Would you like to introduce yourself?" asked Kyle. Knowing Jim would probably not speak, Kyle took it upon himself to be his voice as well. "Hi, Kyle," he said, raising the pitch of his voice. "My name is Rachel May. I'm a very special guest." Rachel's expression of confusion turned to shock. "Well, Rachel, you look way too thin and absolutely terrible, and you should feel ugly." Kyle glanced at Jim meaningfully. "Well, Kyle," he said, "I sure wish I could look like you." Kyle got bored and started gwagging on the cardboard arm, clenched in his... was that like chewing? That might be chewing. On the cardboard arm, clutched in his hand. Rachel walked over to the guest chair and sat down, crushing Techno Jim. "Kyle, dear," she said, "I'm very bewildered." Kyle stared at her and said nothing. After a beat, Rachel got back up out of her chair and left the studio. Kyle remained seated in his chair for the entire broadcast, slowly chewing. Oh yeah, so it was chewing at the arm the entire time. In the coming months, Rachel May started a talk show in which she discoursed with a... Oh, that might be... I'm guessing that's supposed to be discussed. With a cardboard version of herself. Cardboard Rachel became very popular. She made several appearances on Stay Up Late with Kyle in the future. Interviewed Rachel. Well, that's another ending. Let's see. What else can we do? Let's try and do the thing where we don't actually prepare for the interview. Skip. We're going to exit the bed. And we're going to avoid that desk at all. Actually, hold on, wait. Grab the desk. We're not going to write notes. We're just going to grab flashlight, back to desk, desk drawer, sorted, check, small key, back. We're going to exit. We're going to leave the apartment. We're going to visit the tech store, buy the batteries, insert them in the flashlight, back out, return to the house as fast as we can. Check locked door. Alright, let's force the door with forehead. Kyle decided it would be best to try to force the door open with the use of his face. After smashing his features into solid wood for several minutes, Kyle gained severe short-term amnesia back. Kyle walked into the small hallway that connects the rooms. I don't know if this is going to be good. Return to bedroom. Kyle returned to the center of the bedroom. Scavenge. Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for resources. Kyle began to comb through the damp piles of filth and mold of his floor in search of helpful items. After finding and eating a few bits of crumbs and old cheese, Kyle found something much more important. Indeed, it was the corpse of Harry. Deal with Harry. Kyle hoisted Harry out onto his shoulder and took him outside. Kyle began dragging Harry's body down the street, drawing many, many stairs. Kyle knew exactly where he needed to take Harry's corpse on a lovely play date, just the two of them. Kyle and Harry started at the arcade. Kyle used Harry's arms to operate the joysticks and push buttons. After 5 or 6 different games, the two friends had enough tickets for a single candy bar. They took their prize to the local park for eating. Kyle tried to feed some of the chocolate bar to Harry, but Harry seemed to not have an appetite. After eating, Kyle noticed a nearby playground. He dragged Harry over. Kyle tried to figure out a way to swing Harry on the swing set, but Harry kept falling out from not being able to grab onto anything. Instead, Kyle started to lug Harry to the top of the slide and shove him down time and time again. Shove him down time and time again. Okay. Finally, Kyle took Harry to the movies to see as many popular movies as their pocket change allowed. Kyle quickly found that he had no pocket change. What? I have some right there. So he searched through Harry's corpse until he found his wallet. Kyle bought two tickets to A Love Romance. After getting inside, Kyle left Harry to go find a restroom. By the time Kyle had finished using the restroom, he had forgotten that he brought Harry along. Kyle watched A Love Romance by himself. Harry's corpse sat on a bench in the auditorium. While Kyle was in the movie, a beautiful thing happened. Harry's corpse, imbued with the power of friendship and love, was reanimated. Harry's old rotten flesh gained color and life. His fingernails regrew. His missing eye came back. By the time the movie was over, Harry was able to greet Kyle with a large friendly hug as his old self. Kyle was confused with delighted that his long lost friend met him on his way out of the theater. The two made plans to get drinks together and parted ways for the day. Kyle returned home, forgetting about the interview with Rachel. Helped a friend. Alright, let's try one, right? We're gonna return to main menu. Right. I'm gonna start again. This time I wanna have amnesia. So we're gonna not even wear anything, right? Exit bedroom. Check locked door. Force with, the bane head. So now we have amnesia. Let's move to the kitchen. What's in the... Check the pantry. Kyle wanted to access the pantry but found it was locked with a small keyhole. Alright, so we return to the hallway. Return to bedroom. Open the... Not the closet. Actually, just go ahead and... yeah, that. Kyle chose the pasties made out of mashed chunk flesh. Oh! Getting the slimy garments to stay proved difficult, so Kyle opted to stick them to his body with hot glue. Kyle returned the center of the bedroom. Jesus Christ. Alright, so at the desk, we're going to... I want to try and open this thing. So we're going to take the small key, back out, back to bedroom, exit bedroom, move to the kitchen, check the pantry, unlock the small key. The pantry door lock cracked as if it hadn't moved for years, but eventually opened. Instead of an assortment of canned goods and grains, Kyle's pantry stored his massive amount of bottled lard. Chug a bottle of lard. Why not? Kyle grabbed the closet bottle, snapped the neck against the wall, and sucked out all of the fat within a minute. Chug a lard bottle. Kyle wildly sucked down another bottle. He felt very sick. Chug another one. Kyle's vomit and the lard were mixing in a way to make it hard to tell which was which. Finish off the pantry. As Kyle finished the last bottle of lard, he felt a wave of accomplishment coming over him. Return to kitchen. More. Kyle hurtled to the set. Sitting across from his host's chair was a glamorous woman, obviously wealthy, but with, Approached Rachel. More. Kyle responded, forget her name from amnesia. Hello, you? Kyle stammered as his brain failed to work from his concussion. More. Rachel looked at Kyle, slightly confused, but continued smiling. Kyle started to look around blatantly before they could talk more. The producer approached. Time to get started, he said, putting a hand on Kyle's shoulder. Let's get stationed. Kyle sat in the nearest chair. Rachel, having her seat stolen by Kyle, sat in the host chair. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. Start broadcast. Good morning, everyone, said Kyle. My name is, Kyle made desperate effort to remember his name, or really any piece of personal information about himself. Kyle looked at Rachel. Do you know who I am? He asked. Rachel looked back, confused. Who you are? Well, if you're not Kyle, I don't know who you are. Rachel smiled sweetly. Kyle made up his mind that he was probably Kyle. Well, he said, I'm Kyle. A long silence followed. Eventually, Rachel spoke again. I'm Rachel. Hi, everyone, she waved. Hi, Rachel, said Kyle. So why are you here? Rachel was visibly confused. Well, Kyle, she said, that's really up to you. Were you planning on asking me any questions? Or, I don't have any ideas, said Kyle. Kyle kept staring at Rachel. Rachel noticed the camera crew. Who on earth are all of you? He asked. Nobody answered. Kyle got out of his chair and walked off frame, leaving Rachel alone with millions of viewers. Rachel started to attempt to entertain the audience herself. Eventually, the producer ended the broadcast earlier due to technical issues. Kyle woke up in his bed the next day, remembering nothing about what had happened. Forgot everything. I'm trying to think of like what we could do with the flashlight. Return to main menu. Well, we got 5 of the endings. I think that's a bit it. That's it for me. Again, I don't know when this game is going to come out. But it's a really fun game. I'd rather not spoil the rest of the endings for everyone. You know, I'd rather you know, when the game comes out, you guys play it and have fun. Really interesting. It's funny. I'm not entirely sure if there was some spelling errors or if there were just my errors. I'm gonna probably look them up later, make sure they're actual words, and then if they aren't, then I'll just like note the developer like, hey, there's a bit in this bit and this bit. But honestly, game is really fun. You're probably gonna notice how many cuts are in here because I'm not feeling well, but yeah, it's a really fun game. I don't know when it's going to come out, really. I just know that I was able to play test it. It was really fun. And yeah, music's great. Story's great. I think a lot of the jokes are good. And yeah, it was really fun. I'm probably going to keep playing this in my spare time. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. A big thank you to John Szymanski. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. And yeah, please support him. You can go over to his Twitter over here, or his Patreon, or his Discord, or his face. I'll leave his Twitter in the description below, so you could go check him out. And yeah, check out some of his other games. I've been meaning to buy one of them. I don't have money. I'm a poor boy. Anyways, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.